Okay, so in this video, I'm going to walk you through some steps of creating a simple layout in Illustrator. I'm in the software, and I'm not sure what your screen looks like in terms of, what sort of templates are available. I'm just going to go to File, New, and we'll make this a print document, and I will set the dimensions here and make sure that you have inches here. Sometimes it starts off with pixels, 8.5. So this will be a letter sized document. And I'm going to click on create. Okay. Control minus is going to let me zoom out. And you also have scroll bars, and you can use Control plus to zoom in. All right, I have a number of files, image files that I'm going to bring in here. Before I kind of get into laying out the sheet, I'm just going to begin bringing them in. Now, one thing I need to clarify about how these files are going to be brought in. There's two ways of doing it. One way is to link them. The other one is to kind of embed them in the file. What you do really depends on the circumstances. If you have a lot of images that are coming in, it keeps the file size smaller if you link them. So I'm going to show you how to do that, but there's really only 6 or 7 images here, so you could place them as well. But the first thing I want to do is to save the file. I'm going to save it to my computer, and I'm going to save it to the place where my images are. So hang on one moment. Okay, so I've navigated to this folder that I had. I called it Box. I'm also going to call it, you would put your name in here, not your name, but literally your name, Box. So mine would be Christine Marriott. Maybe it's easier for me to do that, just so I don't confuse anyone. I'm going to call this file Box. And again, it wants to be in the same place as the image files that you're going to bring into it because they're linked, and it just sort of simplifies things to have a simple file structure. If I move the file from one location to another, it won't be able to find the images that I bring in. Okay, so I'm going to go to File, Place, and I'm going to see, I have them all named here. These names might not be exactly as described on the assignment, but they do at least have the A, B, C, E, G, H letters associated with the assignment. So yeah, it looks like I can just kind of bring them all in at once. Just going to kind of put them all on top of one another. Should be 7 of them. Control negative, and then what I can do is click on the images and hold down the Shift key while you stretch them so that you don't alter the proportions. And I'll just kind of roughly get them so they fit on the page. I have to make them a lot smaller. Why are we doing this at letter size instead of a larger format? Well, eventually you'll be constructing a portfolio of your work, and in all likelihood, it's going to be a letter size. So it's an opportunity to kind of get used to that size format. All right, so I'll pause this and continue to do this work of editing the size. All right, so I've got them all kind of sized down a little bit. And one thing that I'm going to do is go over to the links over here on the right toolbar. And you can see they're all in there, and they have this little linked symbol next to them. So I know that they are in fact linked. And that again has to do with how they were brought into the file. Now, one of the advantages of having them linked is that I could go and make some changes to the image. Like, for example, this one right here, let's say I want to crop it down. I could go change that and then update the link, and it would update in this file as well. I have one of these images is very faint, and I think I might want to go and edit that in one of the Adobe softwares so that it punches out a little bit better. Okay, so basically with the arrangement here, the idea is to sort of tell the story of the process. So, if I was to kind of order these in the order in which they were completed, they would be like this. And then from here, I can go and begin to sort of arrange them, size them, modify them a little bit so that they make more sense within my layout. Control Z. I forgot to like drag from the corner and hold down that shift key. Okay, so what we'll do is change the layout a little bit, make a correction to this one, maybe to punch it out a little bit more, perhaps crop some things, and then we'll add some text to the file. In order to kind of bring a little bit more order to things, I will go to view. Down at the bottom, I'm going to show the rulers. Okay, now they're in inches because that's the format that I set things up with. But let's say I want to bring in a border, like maybe a 1/2 inch border. What I'm doing is clicking on the ruler and dragging in these guidelines so that I have something to work off of. How big should that border be? It's up to you. And do you need a border? No, you could have a full bleed where it goes to the edges, but I'm going to add a border. So as I mentioned, this image right here seems a little faint and hard to read. So I'm going to actually go into that image and make some adjustments.